Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Nar from the Nar Report. Back today with another episode 14. And in today's episode, I'll be talking about a lot of things. College football from this past weekend had a lot of playoff implications on the line, so I'll get into that shortly. NFL Week 12 of the regular season ended last night with the Baltimore Ravens defeating the Chargers 30-23. And I'll give y'all my Week 13 NFL predictions. Make sure to sub to YouTube if you haven't. Turn on that bell to get all the notifications on when I go live and when I post. And make sure to follow me on all of my social media platforms on Instagram and TikTok at D_Nard_report. All right, let's get into it. Starting off with some college football. Man, this college football weekend was crazy. A lot of upsets. There were a lot of upsets that affected playoff implications. All right, and I'm going to get into those very, very shortly. Starting off with the first game. It's crazy because I don't even know where to start at first because, man, there were upsets left and right. All I know was Colorado got, speaking of Colorado, let's get into that game right now. Colorado loses to Kansas. Don't know the score, but let's talk about it. Colorado, how did you lose to Kansas? And I understand that upsets happen, but Shedeur Sanders did not have a good game. The offense wasn't good. The defense was horrible from Colorado. I don't know what Colorado had going on, but they didn't come ready to play. And it's crazy because I had this team making it to the playoffs. All right, they were nationally ranked, and I don't know where they went. I don't know what happened, but hey, it is what it is. Hold on, I'm trying to find the score real quick. Bam, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. So, yeah, back to what I was saying about the Colorado game. Colorado loses to Kansas 31-27. Colorado. I thought y'all was better than that. Okay? And I didn't know y'all was going to get blown out like that. It wasn't a blowout, but I didn't see this coming. All right. Shedeur Sanders had an okay game, 23 for 29 for completion, threw for 266 yards, 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. The offensive line was awful for Colorado. Shedeur Sanders had to do a lot of scrambling out of the pocket, throwing the ball to his receivers. Like the offensive line wasn't stable for Colorado. And now since Colorado lost, I think they will not make the playoffs this year. And it's crazy because when they won those last couple of games, I had them making the playoffs with the team they had under Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, my favorite to win the Heisman this year, and Coach Prime. But, hey, it is what it is. Next game, Indiana and Ohio State. Ohio State, 38-15. Man, I did not. And it's crazy because all these nationally ranked teams have been blown out. They were either blown out or just got upset. But Indiana, this could affect their playoff chances right here. They were number 5 in the nation. They were nationally ranked number 5. And Ohio State was ranked number 2. And what happened? Indiana, you didn't want to show up? Because that could have affected your playoff chances. Every team that was nationally ranked that got upset, y'all playoff chances, if you didn't make the playoffs, it was because of those games right there. Next game I want to go to, Ole Miss and Florida. Ole Miss at the end had a chance to win the game twice, and the quarterback throws 2 interceptions back to back. Like how? But the defense for Florida was amazing. And it closed out the game right there. Let's see any other games that got upset. But otherwise, that's about it for college football. But all of these upsets, I did not see this coming. All right. I did not see this coming. And I just can't wait to see how this college football playoffs will work out. And that's it for college football. Now moving on to the NFL. Starting off with the Thursday night game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. Browns win. Hold on. Browns upset the Steelers 24-19. Sorry about that. In Cleveland. In the AFC North Division rivalry showdown, let's talk about it. This game was in the snow. It was exciting to watch. Jameis Winston was doing his thing. He had a great game. 18 for 27 for completion, threw for 219 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. But hey, Winston did his thing though. But that touchdown that he had was a rushing touchdown. Hey, Jameis Winston was clutch in that game. The offense played phenomenal. The defense played great. Now let's talk about the Steelers. The Steelers had a pretty good game as well too. Russell Wilson, good game, 21 for 28 for completion, threw for 270 yards, 1 touchdown and 0 interceptions. But there's been a lot of conversation on who to blame on this loss. Russ, the coaching. To me, I don't think nobody should be blamed because it is a divisional game and y'all playing in Cleveland, but this just wasn't the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, if they would have won this game, they would have been in good shape to win the AFC North. But next week, they go up against the Cincinnati Bengals, who just coming off a bye week. And if the Bengals beat the Steelers and the Ravens beat the Eagles, the Ravens will be in first place in the AFC North. So that's it for Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Cleveland with the upset 24-19. Now we move on to the 1 o'clock games. Started off in Carolina with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Carolina Panthers. Chiefs win off of a game-winning field goal, 30-27. Man, expected to be close, but not like this close. This came down to the wire. And Carolina is our division rival, but they put up a fight with the Chiefs. And it's crazy because the Chiefs played our whole division this season. We kept it close. The Buccaneers kept it close. And Carolina kept it close. And New Orleans, it was just a blowout. But let's talk about the game in general. At the end of the game, Panthers down 8. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Bryce Young drives down the field, gets the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Defense comes onto the field. Kansas City goes down the field and kicks the game-winning field goal to win it. Man, let me tell y'all something. When you have GOAT Mahomes, yes, that's his name, GOAT Mahomes. In these situations, clutch situations, game-winning drive situations, when you have GOAT Mahomes on the team, he's just that dude. He's just that guy. Let's talk about the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, good game, 27 for 37 for completion, threw for 269 yards, 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Pat Mahomes had an amazing game, especially with that play with that set up the game when it field goal, that 30-yard run. He scrambled out the pocket. I was like, man, there go Mahomes. He is that guy. But the Panthers, Bryce Young, congratulations. You're officially the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers from here on out. He's figured things out ever since he's been benched. And to me, Bryce Young should have never been benched. That was a wrong move by the Carolina Panthers to bench Bryce Young. But ever since he's been benched, he's been doing his thing, though. But all the Panthers need to do for him is give him an offensive line and surround him with weapons. And they do that, boom. Bryce Young has a team around him. But I didn't really have nothing much to say about that game. But the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They're going to find ways to win games. And they found a way to win the game in Charlotte. And there were a lot of Chiefs fans in Carolina. They took over Bank of America. And that's it. Chiefs won 30-27. And what I mean, quick notice. There's been a lot of good games on Sunday down to the wire for the early slate. And that's what I'm doing right now. Next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Commanders. Cowboys win 34-26 in Washington. Man, what a game this was. What a fantastic finish. This game came right down to the wire. I love what I've seen from both teams. But let's go right to the end of the game. Cowboys up 27-20. Commanders need a touchdown to tie the game. What happens? Jaden Daniels throws the ball to Scary Terry. Touchdown, Washington. Excuse me right there. And then what happens after that touchdown? The kicker misses the extra point. How? How did the Washington kicker miss that extra point? Like you was right there. All you have to do was kick the ball through the net. Just kick the ball, make the field goal. You guys tied at 27 and possibly going to overtime. But let's talk about the game in general. Cowboys. Cooper Rush had an amazing game, 24 for 32 for completion, threw for 247 yards, 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Hey, Cooper Rush high. Sorry about that. I had some internet difficulties, but hang in with me, guys. But back to what I was saying, the Commanders, ever since they started 7-2, all the hype was up here and they went down here. That's what happened to the Commanders hype. Because I swear to God, and the Commanders were in good shape to win the NFC East when they were 7-2. And now these boys 7-5. These boys could actually miss the playoff. I swear, if they lose to the Titans next Sunday, we're gonna have to talk. All right, because here's the stats for Jayden Daniels: 25 for 38 for completion, threw for 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Just like I said, Cooper Rush is out to play you, Jayden. And I understand you're a good quarterback, but that wasn't the type of game you were supposed to have. And that's it. Cowboys win 34-26. Moving on to the next game, the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins win 34-15. Tua Tagovailoa, when he is healthy, the Dolphins are a complete playoff team. Let's talk about the stats from Tua Tagovailoa. He had an amazing game. 29 for 40 for completion, threw for 317 yards, 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Tua went off against the Dolphins. And by the way, the Miami Dolphins, ever since Tua came back, they lost a lot of close games, but I'm kind of leaning towards them playing against the Packers. And I'll get into my predictions at the end of the show. And at the end of the show, I'll also like to talk about the playoff picture and what's going on in the NFL and stuff like that. So, but back to what I was saying, Tua Tagovailoa is a good quarterback when he's healthy. All right. The Dolphins will win out if they beat the Packers. Hear me out. If the Miami Dolphins beat the Packers, they'll win out and make the playoffs. Mark my words. And for the Patriots, they suck. But Drake May is the future. That's all I got to say about the game. Dolphins put BTA on the Patriots 34-15. Moving on to the next game, we have an upset in Houston in an AFC South showdown. Titans win 32-27. Let's talk about it. CJ Stroud, he did not have a good game. 20 for 33 for completion, threw for 247 the Houston Texans lately because I don't know what's going on. They lost a lot of games lately. They've been losing lately. You know what I'm saying? They lost to the Jets. They lost to the Lions. But they beat the Cowboys and then forgot how to play football. That's what happened to the Texans. And I'm looking at the Texans schedule right now. If they lose their next game to the Jacksonville Jaguars, you might as well give the Colts the division. Okay? Because I'm looking at the remaining schedule. This Sunday, they got the Jaguars. They got the Dolphins, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Titans. So their next game is must win if they want to win the division. And you got to win one of those tough 3 games. Because if you lose to the Jaguars, just give the Colts the division. Okay? Because when I look at this Colts schedule, these boys can win out. All right? The Colts can really win out. And I'm looking at the schedule right now. The Colts, they got the Patriots, the Broncos, the Titans, the Giants, and the Jaguars. The only tough game the Colts got is the Broncos, but there's a scenario that the Texans could miss the playoffs. Okay? So, Texans, y'all need to be on y'all game because if y'all lose to the Jaguars, Just give the Coastal Division at this point. I know I said it about a couple times, but I'm just saying it for the Houston Texans. Y'all need to be on y'all BS, all right? And the crazy thing is, what's up with these kickers? All right. The Texans kicker missed like a 20, 30-yard field goal to tie the game, and he missed it. CJ Stroud had a chance to tie the game or win it for the Texans, but he gets sacked in the end zone for a safety. The Tennessee Titans look like a playoff team out there. And that's all I got to say for Tennessee and Houston. Tennessee with the upset, 32-27. Moving on to the next game, we go to Indianapolis with the Lions and the Colts. Lions win 24-7. 24-6. My bad. Let's talk about it. First of all, shout out to Jared Goff. Jared Goff. He is that guy. 26 for 36 for completion, threw for 269 yards, 0 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Minus those touchdown interceptions, Jared Goff had an amazing game. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, best running back duo in the NFL. Okay? These boys are touchdown machines. When it's first and goal and the Lions are in the end zone, just give those two the ball. It's 100% going to be a touchdown. The Lions are the best team in the NFL. Okay? They'll win the division. And for crying out loud, they'll win the Super Bowl this year. Okay? The Lions will win the Super Bowl this year, by the way these boys playing. And for the Colts, Anthony Richardson, he did not have a good game. 11 for 28 for completion, threw for 172 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. I don't think the Colts even scored a touchdown. It was just all field goals. But the Lions, best team in the league. And it's not even close. And I understand that, because we can debate about this a lot. People going to say the Chiefs are the best team in the league. People going to say the Lions the best team in the league. But overall, the Detroit Lions are the best team in the NFL. And that's it. Lions win 24-6. Moving on to the next game, we have another thriller in Chicago in the division showdown. The Vikings beat the Bears 30-27 in overtime. Let's talk about it. Bears down 10. They scored a touchdown. It was 27-17. The Bears scored a touchdown. They need an onside kick to get the ball back to have an opportunity to win the game. And guess what? Bears got the onside kick. They got down into field goal range, sent into overtime. And then the Vikings kick a field goal. They win. Man, the Bears' downfall is real, ladies and gentlemen. They were 4-2 in good contention to win the NFC North. But then everything has fallen off. But the Bears were like up here, 4-2, with all the hype they got. Caleb Williams is doing an amazing job. And now, 5-game losing streak. Bears fans, I'm sorry. All right. Maybe next year. All right. All I know is next year, if y'all don't have the same difficulties y'all have this year, y'all make the playoffs. All right. That's for next season, though. And I say this every week. That Hail Mary in Washington hunted him a lot. Because ever since that Hail Mary, the Bears have been in a position to win games, but they just haven't been finding ways to win games. I don't know what's going on. Let's look at the stats for Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams, he had a good game, 32 for 47 for completion, threw for 340 yards, 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. I feel like when Caleb Williams has a good game, the Bears let him down. That's what it is. And I don't know what to say. I don't know if the head coach need to get fired but something needs to be done in Chicago. That's all I got to say. And for the Vikings, they're 9-2 of the season. They got a big time win and trying to keep in pace with the Detroit Lions for division. But that's it for that game. Moving on to the next game, we go to the 4 o'clock games with the Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders. For those of y'all that don't know, before I get into the game, their starting quarterback, Gardner Minshew, is out for the season. And Desmond Ridder will be the starter. And it's crazy because we played the Raiders in Week 15 in Vegas on Monday Night Football. Ridder versus his former team. Ooh, that's going to be a movie. but let's show out. All right. Now, I didn't really see this game, but I'm going to tell you what I see by looking at the stats. Bo Nix had a rough game, 25 for 42 for completion, threw for 273 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. The Denver Broncos are in playoffs. Okay? These boys might make it to the playoffs this year because I like Bo Nix. I love what he is doing right now. Sean Payton, a good head coach, and the Broncos got a very good defense. I feel like the Broncos defense won them the game against the Raiders. Now, ain't nothing much to say about the Raiders. These guys suck. Just continue to tank and draft a quarterback. Hopefully, they can get Shedeur Sanders in Vegas. That would be nice. But that's it for Broncos and Raiders. Broncos went 29-19. Moving on to the next game, we got the 49ers and the Packers. Packers blow out the 49ers 38-10. 38-10. And Brock Purdy didn't play, so I wasn't surprised that this was a blowout. Brandon Allen got the starting job for the quarterback position. Brandon Allen's stats, looking at it right now, 17 for 29 for completion, threw for 199 yards, 1 touchdown, interception. The 49ers season is over, okay? They play the Bills next Sunday. They lose that game. Just don't worry about the playoffs, okay? Just finish the season out and better luck next year. For the Packers, Jordan Love, he had an amazing game. 13 for 23 for completion, threw for 163 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Josh Jacobs had 3 touchdowns, 26 carries for 106 yards. Josh Jacobs was a great addition by the Green Bay Packers. And the Green Bay Packers can still make the NFC Championship game. I believe that with Jordan Love healthy, the Packers can make a run to the NFC Championship game. Because watch out for the Packers by playoff time. And that's it for Green Bay and San Francisco. Packers won 38-10. Moving on to the next game, we got the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals. Seahawks win 16-6. And Seattle in the NFC West showdown. Tough division. Tough division. Who's going to win that division? You'll find out by the end of the show. Because I will talk about that too. But let's get into it. Geno Smith, good game. 22 for 31 for completion. Threw for 254 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. The Seahawks defense played amazing. Held in the Cardinals to 2 field goals. Kobe Bryant had a pick 6 for the Seahawks, which shifted the whole momentum of the game. And the Seahawks, to me, I would love for them to win the division, but sometimes they're just inconsistent. They play the Jets next week. It could be like this. They beat the Cardinals, and then they lose to the Jets. Like, that's how inconsistent the Seahawks are. If the Seahawks want to win this division, they got to stay consistent, which I believe they could. And that's it for that game. Seahawks win 16-6. Moving on to Sunday night. Eagles beat the Rams 37-20 in Los Angeles. The MVP, Saquon Barkley. That dude went off. He was the Philadelphia Eagles right there. Saquon Barkley was the MVP for the Eagles, okay? He won them the game. All right, let's look at the stats. 26 carries. For 200, he ran for 255 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts, good game. 15 for 22 for completion, threw for 179 yards, 1 touchdown, and 0 interceptions. Saquon Barkley did all the work on offense. And he was spectacular. Saquon Barkley should be in the MVP conversation. And the best running back in NFL is debatable right now. You got Saquon, you got Derrick Henry. One of those two guys could be the best running back in the NFL, but as right now, I believe Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the National Football League right now. And that's it for the Eagles and Rams game. The Eagles are the biggest threats to the Detroit Lions by playoff time. But that's it for that game. Eagles win 37-20. And then last but not least, the Monday night game from last night between the Baltimore Ravens and the Los Angeles Chargers. The Harbaugh brothers going up against each other, John and Jim. This was a good game to watch. All right. And this could be a potential playoff preview, but in Baltimore. If if the Ravens win the division. And I would love for this to be a playoff matchup because, if these guys end up in the playoffs, first round, I'm grabbing some popcorn. Okay? I'm grabbing some popcorn. I'm ordering me some wings, some fries. It's going to be, I'm going to have a party to myself because, man, that is going to be a game to remember, a playoff game to remember. Let's talk about the stats. Lamar Jackson, amazing game, playing like an MVP, 16 for 22 for completion, threw for 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Lamar Jackson also had a rushing touchdown too as well. Derrick Henry, he did not score a touchdown, but he also had a good game, 24 carries for 140 yards and 0 touchdowns. Justice Hill, 4 carries for 55 yards and 1 touchdown. Hey, Justice Hill, that touchdown sealed the deal for the Ravens. And the Ravens defense played phenomenal too. And let me go ahead and say this right now. The Baltimore Ravens are threats to the Kansas City Chiefs. You got 2 threats to the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC. That's the Bills and the Ravens. Steelers, maybe. Texans, no. All right. So Bills and Ravens are the biggest threats to the Kansas City Chiefs as of right now. And for the Chargers, Justin Herbert, he had a good game. 21 for 36 for completion, threw for 218 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. He didn't throw a touchdown, but he had a rushing touchdown, though. The Chargers, they played great when it was up 10-0, but in the second half, it was all Ravens. All Ravens. The Ravens are now 8-4 this season. They're just a half game back in the AFC North from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that wraps up the NFL Week 12 recap. And now I'm about to give you my Week 13 NFL predictions. Now, before I give y'all my predictions, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Be safe, enjoy your family, and have some good football. All right? We got 3 Thanksgiving games and a Black Friday game. So, hey, we're going to have some good football. But let's get into my predictions as we speak. Starting off with the Thanksgiving games, we got 3 of them. The Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. The Lions will beat the Bears. I feel like the Lions going to put up 50 because I just have a feeling Jared Goff is going to go off. I'm going to say Brown's going to go off. The running back's going to go off. I just got this feeling that the Lions will put up 50. Yeah, the Lions put up 50 against the Bears. The Lions will beat the Bears as we speak. Next game, we got the New York Giants taking on the Dallas Cowboys. The Toilet Bowl. What? This is my question. Every time the Cowboys play on Thanksgiving, why do they always have to play a sorry team? You know what I'm saying? Ever since the Cowboys have been playing on Thanksgiving, since I've been watching NFL, they've been playing teams like Washington and the Giants. Like, I want to see them play the Eagles on Thanksgiving. That's a Thanksgiving game for the Cowboys right there. But the Cowboys will beat the Giants, okay, to get their first win of the season. And if they don't, I don't know what to say. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins taking on the Green Bay Packers. The Dolphins are on a winning streak. And I'm leaning towards Miami on this game. But the Packers are at home, too, with a big win against the San Francisco 49ers. And who do I pick? Dolphins, Packers, Dolphins, Packers, Dolphins, Packers. You know what? I'm going to go with my mom. I'm picking the Miami Dolphins to beat the Green Bay Packers. These boys are on a roll right now. Black Friday game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. I got the Chiefs beating the Raiders, but it will be a close game. The Raiders always play a good game against the Chiefs, and it's always close. So the Chiefs will beat the Raiders, and I'll also give y'all my predictions one more time after I do all of these predictions for each game, like I always do. Next up, we go to the Sunday games at 1 o'clock. We got my Atlanta Falcons coming off the bye week against the Chargers. We need this game, okay? If we want to win the division, the season starts right now, okay? The final stretch, this is our season, Falcons. We need to wake up, all right? We need to beat the Chargers, all right? They just played last night. They have a short week. They come into Atlanta. It's a long flight, and we just came off a bye week, so we'll be well rested and fully charged, It's funny I say that because we're playing the Chargers this Sunday. But otherwise, though, I'm confident that we'll beat the Chargers, though. But y'all know me, man. I don't never pick against my team. So the Falcons will beat the Chargers in a close game. Next up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going with another upset. Give me the Bengals over the Steelers. The Bengals are coming off a bye week. The Steelers came off a mini bye week, but I just feel like the Bengals will win this game. Next up, we got the Houston Texans taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Texans, I said this earlier. If y'all lose this game, give the Coastal Division, okay? Just give the Coastal Division. Lose to the Jaguars, the Texans, should walk up to the Coast and be like, here's the division. So I'm picking the Texans to beat the Jaguars because the Jaguars suck. Next up, we got the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Minnesota Vikings. This is a good game, all right? And I won't be surprised if the Cardinals win. But I'm rolling with the Vikings to beat the Cardinals. Next up, we got the Colts and the Patriots. I'm picking the Colts to beat the Patriots. Seahawks, Jets. I'm picking the Seahawks. Titans and Commanders. Here's another game. Washington. I'm going to say this right now. If y'all lose to the Titans, y'all are 100% frauds. As a matter of fact, y'all are frauds right now. But y'all lose to the Titans at home, I don't even think y'all going to make the playoffs. But anyways, though, Washington will beat Tennessee. Next up, we go to the 4 o'clock games. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers. I'm going with Tampa Bay to beat Carolina. But I have a feeling that Carolina is going to win because they almost beat the Chiefs last week. They almost beat the Chiefs last week. And I feel like Bryce Young is going to have a good game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm going to lie, we need Carolina to win to maintain first place in the NFC South. But overall, I do feel like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will get the win. Next game, we got the Los Angeles Rams taking on the New Orleans Saints. I'm picking the Rams to beat the Saints. And next up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Baltimore Ravens. Woo! Game of the week right here. Both quarterbacks playing amazing. You got Jalen Hurts versus Lamar Jackson. Both of them playing like an MVP candidate. You got the battle of the 2 running backs, Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. Both of those guys are the top 2 running backs in the National Football League right now. And this game is going to determine who is the best running back in the National Football League. All right, it doesn't matter which team wins, but it matters which running back shows out the most. And whoever shows out the most, back in the NFL. Mark my words. And I am rolling with the Baltimore Ravens to beat the Philadelphia Eagles in a very close game, high-scoring game, Ravens by a field goal. Sunday night, we got the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Buffalo Bills. The Bills will beat the 49ers, okay? I feel like the Bills might put up 40 against them. They might blow them out just like the Packers did to them. Because the Bills, Josh Allen is about to go off. He's about to go off. The Bills will beat the 49ers. And Monday Night Football, we got the Cleveland Browns taking on the Denver Broncos. The Broncos will beat the Browns. And those are my Week 13 NFL predictions. Now, I'm going to go over my predictions one more time. Bears, Lions, I got the Lions. Giants, Cowboys, I got the Cowboys. Dolphins, Packers, I got the Dolphins. Raiders, Chiefs, I got the Chiefs. Falcons, Chargers, Falcons. Steelers, Bengals, Bengals. Texans, Jaguars, Texans. Cardinals, Vikings, I got the Vikings. Colts, Patriots, I got the Colts. Seahawks, Jets, I got the Seahawks. Titans, Commanders, I got the Commanders. Bucks, Panthers, I got the Bucks. Rams, Saints, I got the Rams. Eagles, Ravens, I got the Ravens. 49ers, Bills, I got the Bills. Browns, Broncos, I got. So that's Lions, Cowboys, Dolphins, Chiefs, Falcons, Bengals, Texans, Vikings, Colts, Seahawks, Commanders, Bucks, Rams, Ravens, Bills, and Broncos. Those are the teams that I have been winning in Week 13. Now, to close the show out, I would like to talk about what's at stake for this NFL season as we're heading into Week 13. The season is coming out to the wire, so I'm going to go over all the standings in each division and where they at right now. And I'm going to talk about all of the teams. Starting off in the AFC, we go with the AFC East. You got the Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, and Jets. The Bills at 9-2. They got the divisional loss, okay? Josh Allen is playing amazing, even though Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis left. The Bills are a dangerous team by playoff time. And the Bills, I feel like the Bills can make it out the AFC this year. Okay? So watch out for the Buffalo Bills by playoff time. They got the divisional loss. That's 100% sure. And the Bills could win the division by this week. All they need is a win and the Dolphins loss. And then the Bills are AFC East champions. But otherwise, though, the Bills own the AFC East. I slept on Buffalo from the beginning of the season. And Buffalo, I'm sorry, but Josh Allen, you're my guy. Next up, we got the Patriots at 3-9. They're tanking, okay? But Drake May is the future, though. And New England is in a full rebuild. Miami is at 5-6, trying to make a late playoff push. And if Dolphins beat the Packers, they will win out and make the playoffs 100%. And then the Jets, I did not expect the Jets to be 3-8. Aaron Rodgers not having a good season. The Jets really fired everybody. The coach has got fired. They just fired the GM. Shoot, who's getting fired next? As a matter of fact, the Jets don't win no more games this season. Okay, y'all eliminated from playoff contention, and the Jets are back to being the sorry old Jets that I'm used to seeing. Next division, the AFC North. So the Bills got their divisional loss. AFC North, Steelers, Ravens, Browns, Bengals. This division comes down between either Pittsburgh or Baltimore. And I got the Baltimore Ravens winning that division. Okay, let's look at the schedule, their remaining schedules for the Ravens and the Steelers. Started off with the Steelers because they're in first place. This Sunday, they got the Bengals, they got the Browns, the Eagles, the Ravens again, the Chiefs, and the Bengals. They got a pretty tough schedule coming down the stretch, but I feel like if the Steelers win 3 of those games, they will win the division. If they beat Baltimore one more time, they're 100% winning the division for sure, because the Steelers own the Ravens, as we all know. And for the Ravens, here's who they got left: Eagles, Giants, Steelers, Texans, and Browns. If they win against the Eagles and the Steelers, yeah, Baltimore will win the division. Either way, I got the Ravens winning this division. I had them winning that division in the beginning of the season because when Lamar is healthy, that's the Ravens division to lose. Okay, when he's not healthy, it's anybody's division. The Browns, 3-8. Watson out for the year. Back to being the sorry old Browns. Ain't nothing much to say about them. And the Bengals, 4-7. They should not be 4-7. They should have at least like 6 wins by now, or 7. They've been in a lot of close games, but they haven't been finding ways to win. They're just like the Chargers from last season. So I got the Ravens winning the AFC North and the Bills winning the AFC East. AFC South, Titans, Colts, Jaguars, Texans. The Titans sub 3-8. The Colts could catch the Texans for the division. Watch out for the Colts. Because I'm telling you, there is a good scenario that the Indianapolis Colts could win out. They could win out. Patriots, Broncos, Titans, Giants, and Jaguars. And if they beat the Broncos, that is going to be huge. That Broncos game is going to have a lot of playoff implications there. So, yeah, I swear. And I feel like if the Colts beat the Broncos, they're 100% winning out, and they will win the AFC South. Houston, I'm telling you right now, you better beat the Jaguars. And I understand it's a divisional game, and y'all playing in Jacksonville, but y'all need this win. I said this earlier. CJ Stroud, you need to have a good game. But otherwise, though, I do believe that the Houston Texans will be fine, and they will win the division. All right? And then for the Jaguars, those boys suck. AFC West, this is the Chiefs division. Okay? They're 10-1. Haven't really been playing that much of a good football, but the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They're 10-1, and they've been finding ways to win games. The Raiders suck. The Chargers, I love what I'm seeing from Coach Harbaugh. And the Chargers, I feel like they can win a playoff game this year. Okay, I won't be shocked if they do. And for the Broncos, 7-5, they're a playoff team as well too, under Bo Nix, Sean Payton, and that good defense they got in Denver. And that's it for the AFC. And after I go over the divisions, I will go into the playoff picture. NFC East. You got the Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, and Commanders. Dallas 4-7 with a huge statement win in Washington. But they're not making the playoffs. So, okay, they could try, though. If they went out 10-7, they're not making the playoffs. They're going to barely miss out. Okay, the Cowboys, this just hasn't been their season. Dak Prescott is done for the year. Mike McCarthy should be gone after this season. The Eagles, 9-2, playing one of the best teams in the NFC. They are the biggest threat to the Detroit Lions. Eagles, Lions, NFC Championship game. Go ahead and book it right now. All right? Go ahead and book it right now. Eagles, Lions will meet in the NFC Championship game. The Giants, 2-9. They suck. Washington, 7-5. These guys are frauds. The Washington Commanders are frauds. How you go from 7-2 to 7-5? And if you lose to the Titans at home, just pack it up. Okay? Just don't even think about making the playoffs. NFC North. Packers, Bears, Vikings, Lions. Green Bay at 8-3 right now. Jordan Love, since he came back from injury, has been playing amazing football. He's been playing like a top 5 quarterback in the NFC. I love what I'm seeing from Green Bay. And the Packers could end up making the NFC Championship game. Okay? So watch out for the Packers by playoff time. The Bears are going to bear. Now the Bears suck. Okay? 4-2 to 4-7. That Hail Mary is going to hunt them a lot. The Vikings 9-2. Sam Darnold playing amazing right now. They got the best receiver in the league in Justin Jefferson. And that defense for the Vikings is phenomenal. And then the Lions, best team in the league, 10-1. They're going to win the division. All right, and they're going to make it out the NFC because that is the team to beat. You got Jared Goff. You got the best running back duo in the league, and Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Who can stop those guys? And they got a good offense and a very good defense. So that's it for the NFC North. Then we go to my division, the NFC South. You got my Atlanta Falcons at 6-5, coming off a bye week against the Chargers. From here on out, all of these games are must win. Okay, we got the Chargers, the Vikings, the Raiders, the Giants, the Commanders, and the Panthers. I feel like we'll be fine. We'll finish 11-6 or 10-7. So we'll win the division and make the playoffs. We'll be fine. Tampa Bay at 5-6. Baker is cooking right now. He's an amazing quarterback. I love Baker Mayfield, but I don't like the Buccaneers. Okay? And the Buccaneers, there's a good scenario that they can win out. Okay? Here's the Buccaneers' remaining schedule. They got the Panthers this Sunday. They got the Raiders. They got the Chargers. They got the Cowboys. The Panthers again, the Saints. There's a good chance the Buccaneers could lose a lot of those games. So just need to be on their stuff, all right? Because if we keep slipping, Buccaneers are going to come and take that division like they did last year. New Orleans at 4-7, started off 2-0, averaging 40 points per game. Carr got hurt, forgot how to play football. But the Saints, ain't nothing much to say about them. And then the Panthers, Bryce Young, amazing quarterback, and the Panthers are the Panthers. NFC West, this is where things get interesting. Who is going to win this division? You got the Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals, and 49ers. Seattle is 6-5 in first place in NFC West. They got a statement win last Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals, 16-6. Here's Seattle's remaining schedule, and I'm going to tell you who's going to win this division. Seattle, they got the Jets. They're going to win that game 7-5. They got the Cardinals again. I got them losing that game 7-6. The Packers at home. I feel like they can win that game. Vikings is going to be a tough one. The Bears, they'll win that game, and then the Rams, I feel like they'll get them again. So Seattle could win that division. The Rams are 5-6. And here's who they got left. They got the Saints, the Bills, the 49ers, the Jets, the Cardinals, and the Rams. And the Seahawks. Excuse me about that. So that's the Rams' remaining schedule. The Cardinals kind of got it pretty easy. They got the Vikings, the Seahawks, the Patriots, the Panthers, the Rams, and the 49ers. And then San Fran, they're 5-6. Here's their remaining schedule: Bills, Bears, Rams, Dolphins, Lions, and Cardinals. By looking at the 49ers' remaining schedule, their season is over. Okay? The 49ers season is done. This hasn't been their season. A team that just went to the Super Bowl, that should have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs. Injuries have been killing them all season. And San Fran, this wasn't the season that they wanted. And I really want the Seahawks to win the division, but looking at the remaining schedule, I think the Cardinals are going to win this division. And I love it because Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. with that good offense, and they got a sneaky defense too. So, yeah, I believe Arizona will win that division. Now that's it for the standings. Now let's talk about the playoff picture. This is where things come down to the wire, baby. The Chiefs are the number 1 seed. We're going to start in the AFC first. Chiefs are the number 1 seed, so they can get the first round bye. And if y'all don't know, 7 teams will make the playoffs and 1 team will get a bye. So we got the Chiefs at 10-1. They're the number 1 seed. The Bills at 9-2. The Steelers at 8-3. The Texans are 4. The Ravens at 5. The Chargers at 6. And the Broncos at 7. Now, the AFC playoff picture is pretty tough. It's coming down to the wire. But what we're looking at is who's going to get that final playoff spot. Because these are teams that are catching the Broncos. You got the Dolphins, the Colts, and then the Bengals. I'm not going to count out the Bengals, okay? Because you don't know what they're going to do. But looking at the AFC playoff picture, I got the Dolphins making the playoffs, okay? I feel like they could take out Denver for that 7th seed. But the Broncos, though, I don't want to see them make the playoffs, okay? I love to see Bo Nix to see what he's going to do. And I feel like if Bo Nix is in the playoffs, he's going to show out. So my final prediction for my AFC playoffs, I got Chiefs 1 seed, Bills 2 seed, Ravens 3 seed, Texans 4 seed. You got the Steelers at 5, you got the Chargers, and then Miami at 7. That's my final AFC playoff predictions. And then we go to the NFC. We got Detroit at the 1 seed, best team in the NFC. The Eagles at 2, Seattle at 3, the Falcons at 4, the Vikings at 5, the Packers at 6, the Commanders at 7, and then teams in the hunt, you got Arizona, Tampa Bay, LA, San Fran, New Orleans, because New Orleans could still fight for the division, fight for our division. So, matter of fact, let's take out the Saints, okay, because they ain't going to do nothing. So, teams in the hunt, Cardinals, Bucks, Rams, and 49ers. And for the Rams and 49ers, they can't catch that final wild card spot. So the only chance they have to make the playoffs is if they win the division. But Washington, if they keep slipping, they can miss the playoffs. Okay, if they lose to the Titans, they're 7-6, and I feel like 2 NFC West teams can make the playoffs because Washington are frauds. Okay, the Commanders are frauds, and I feel like let's say this, all right, Cardinals win the NFC West. The Seahawks could get that 7th seed if the Commanders keep slacking. But these are my final NFC playoff predictions. Lions, Eagles, Falcons, Cardinals. Well, Falcons, Cardinals, that could be swapped. I got the Vikings finishing at 5, the Packers at 6, and Washington at 7. I'll give Washington the playoffs because Washington is a playoff team. Okay, I like J.D. Daniels. I like the offense. The defense is all right. All right, but otherwise, though, let's just talk about the teams in general that are in the playoff picture. Lions, Jared Goff, playing like the MVP, best team in the league. Eagles, 9-2. I like Jalen Hurts. I like Saquon Barkley. That defense in Philly is phenomenal. The Seahawks are 6-5. Seattle is inconsistent, okay? It's like one game they show out, the next game they forget how to play football. But if they don't win the division, I feel like they can sneak into that final playoff spot. Atlanta, listen though, I believe we'll beat the Chargers. I'll be fine that we'll make the playoffs. All right, I do believe that we'll make the playoffs. I know Raheem Morris got it together. I know Kirk Cousins is going to do his thing. The offense is going to do their thing. But the defense has to show up. All right, Minnesota, 9-2. the Vikings are not going to make that noise in the playoffs. They're not going to make too much noise in the playoffs, okay? They're not – the Vikings are just not a playoff team, okay? It don't matter what their record is. When the Vikings get to the playoffs, they choke. The Packers, this team could make the NFC Championship game. Jordan Love, amazing quarterback. That defense is phenomenal. Green Bay could be a dangerous team in the playoffs. Washington, get it together. Because if y'all lose to the Titans, there's a good chance that y'all could miss the playoffs. So that's it for the playoff picture and where things stand. And that concludes today's episode of the Gnarl Report, episode 8. Thanks for everybody that joined. I appreciate all the love and support. Make sure to sub to the YouTube if you haven't. Follow me on all of my social media platforms at _Gnarl_report. I'll see y'all next week for episode 15. Have a good rest of your night. Nard out.